Hey everybody, welcome back to BobkeTV. Well, in the headlines today, Luca Paolini handed an 18-month ban due to his positive during the Tour de France for cocaine. Cocaine blues. Luca Paolini is saying, as a way of explaining being positive for cocaine during the Tour de France, that he's become, in recent years, addicted to sleeping pills. And so, I guess cocaine is a sleeping pill addiction cure. So Luca, during a training camp in June to get ready for the Tour de France with presumably his Katusha teammates, took cocaine, and as a way of snapping out of his sleeping pill induced stupor. Sleeping pills are not banned. They're not on the banned substance list. And Luca Paolini has or at least had, a prescription for sleeping pills. And so the cocaine he used could be argued, if we are to believe Luca's own statements, that it, I mean, it's a borderline whether or not that's a performance-enhancing drug. If you can't wake up, you can't really do your job as a bike racer, or I don't know, are there any jobs, any sleeping jobs? I guess you could study sleep patterns and get paid to do that. But in the real world, I think you need to be awake to do your job. So it was a pretty inexplicable, disturbing, upsetting happenstance when it transpired during the Tour de France. Was you know, a real distraction from the racing at the time. But since then, we have been waiting for the penalty phase for Luca's case to be adjudicated finally. In the meantime, Katusha had another positive, Eduard Vogrinov, positive for meldonium. More on that later. A lot of meldonium headlines coming out recently. But that presented a problem for the UCI. If two riders on the same team are positive for drugs in a 12-month period of time, a sanction is required to be imposed anywhere from 15 to 45 days. At that time, the UCI determined that Luca Paolini's drug use, his cocaine positive, was for recreational use, so that Katusha did not have to be suspended. So why is it that now, we fast forward a few months later, why is Luca given an 18-month ban when it's already been stated that it was for recreational use by the Rules Committee, by the UCI's own independent Rules Committee? And this time, in Luca's penalty phase, the UCI has stated that this was a non-intended anti-doping rules violation. So that's different. That's when you ingest a supplement that has been tainted, which happens once in a while. Let's not get into that. So intentional doping, you know, you're caught using a banned substance like EPO, and that's generally it. You know, there's not a lot. You know, EPO doesn't float around in supplements. It's although I can't wait for somebody to blame their next EPO positive on, they bought it, I don't know, in the same manufacturing facility that your powdered sports drinks are made. That's just not, that's totally implausible, and thankfully has not been invoked yet. But for the UCI to directly contradict itself in stating a few months ago Katusha would not be suspended for racing because Luca Paolini's cocaine use was recreational, and now to upgrade that to non-intended anti-doping rules violation is inconsistent and unfair to Luca Paolini. So I'd like to get a clear explanation of this and differentiation from Brian Cookson. Brian Cookson came to the UCI as president promising a difference from the previous regime. And so far, his administration has been plagued with a crazy amount of controversy. So I'm not sure exactly what improvements Brian Cookson has brought to the office so far. And I would love an explanation from the UCI, from Brian Cookson, about Luca Paolini's rather draconian enforcement when they've already said his use of cocaine was recreational. So please, UCI, enlighten us, elucidate us. So I'm looking forward to hearing a full explanation from the UCI. And believe me, there's a few other things we're going to get to regarding UCI's governance of the sport. And maybe we'll take on disc brakes. Disc brakes. I did a video about disc brakes already. You can look at it early on when I first started doing these videos, but I'm going to update that because of what happened to Fran Ventoso during Paris-Roubaix. In the meantime, comments, subscriptions, thumbs up, follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and please, Brian Cookson, feel free at any time to leave a comment. All right, everybody, thanks a lot. And Luca Paolini, hang in there, buddy. Keep training. Hopefully we'll see you racing again. And no more cocaine. A lot of inconsistencies from the UCI. I'd also ask people to look up Tom Bonen's case for the same substance and what his penalties were. And Mattia Gavazzi, 3-time loser. I think in the state of California, you go to jail for life as a professional cyclist. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to wait to do a video about Mattia Gavazzi when his penalty phase is announced by the UCI. That should be a lot of fun. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. Where there was a pileup in the Ehrenberg Forest, one of the most dangerous sections of road in all of professional cycling, and Viviani taken out from behind by a TV motorbike that was unable to slow down, plowed into Viviani, smashed him into the fence.